You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator, too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 56 now officially in the history books, and with Moro now looking to step onto the battlefield himself, tension now begins to rise as our heroes have the momentary upper hand against Moro's army. But with Moro having to make his way onto the battlefield now, the question is, what exactly can our heroes do in this situation to prevent them from further having their energy taken by Moro, on top of the fact that Moro still has Sagambo by his side, and the fact that with 7-3 Shimoreka and Yumba seemingly being at a disadvantage, as soon as the opportunity presents itself for them to gain the upper hand on our heroes, is it possible for Vegeta to arrive on Earth before Goku and having to prevent Moro from further destroying the planet? Or is the outcome going to be the same just as seen on New Planet Namek, with Moro having to encounter Vegeta and defeating him yet again? As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related and cannot wait for the upcoming Dragon Ball Super manga chapter, that being Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 57, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload, and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys are stoked, ready, and excited to see the final battle go down on Earth involving Moro, Sagambo, and the Z Fighters. Now, with Goku and Vegeta being absent from the battlefield right now, and assuming the fact that Moro is going to fight off the Z Fighters by himself or with Sagambo, one can only imagine that once Goku and or Vegeta, whichever arrive first, end up coming to Earth, it is only then going to be an absolute bloodbath until the actual finale of the arc, which at this current point in time we don't know when that's going to be, but we can only make the assumption right now. As an example, if someone like Vegeta were to get to Earth before Goku, I think that Vegeta would have something in his arsenal to momentarily prevent him, or at least give him the upper hand from having Moro further take Vegeta's Genki as seen on New Planet Namek, because in Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 55 and 56, it is implied that Vegeta wants to learn of a technique or ability that could really give him the upper hand against Moro in this situation, considering the fact that Moro could easily do what he had done before, and that's defeat our heroes without even essentially having to lay a finger on them, and that's by simply taking their energy, taking their Genki, manipulating that, consuming it, getting stronger, getting younger, and thus posing a greater problem. So I think that with Vegeta as a hypothetical, if he were to get to Earth before Goku, I think that Vegeta would more than definitely give Moro a credible run for his money. If anything, Vegeta just might be, by the end of this whole thing, he might be the one that actually ends up putting Moro down, or the total opposite. We could end up getting a situation to where Vegeta could end up trying and doing his absolute best, but by the end he simply comes up short. So I think that with Vegeta knowing the fact that Earth is technically in trouble, but he knows all the way from Yardrat that Moro had yet to step forward on the battlefield, really goes as far as to show that Vegeta, even though he's so far away, could easily feel the spirit of the Earth and could automatically tell all the way from Yardrat if whether or not Moro had engaged in action against our heroes, and that just goes as far as to show the development from Vegeta in arguably being a lot better when it comes down to being as aware or knowledgeable with his spirit than how Goku is simply bouncing from planet to planet with his ship and simply trying to find his way back home. Now, in the comment section below, I want to get your thoughts as to how Vegeta versus Moro is going to happen on Earth versus their first battle on Namek, as joining me here today to further discuss the concept of Moro versus Vegeta in the Dragon Ball Super manga is my good friend and Dragon Ball YouTuber Emish is Live, which by the way, Emish has a brand new Dragon Ball channel that I do encourage you guys to subscribe to. The link to his channel will be located down below. Now Emish, the Dragon Ball Super manga is really intensifying with Vegeta having to really be focused on learning this new technique or ability that he believes could really do damage to Moro, and arguably with Goku having to really have trouble finding his way back home, let's just assume the fact that if Vegeta gets to Earth first before Goku, what I wanted to ask you is how do you think this battle is going to go involving Moro and Vegeta, because I don't see it playing off like it did on Namek in the fact that Moro was so easily easily able to just body Vegeta in stealing his Genki and then reversing his own Genki on him. I think that Vegeta is going to enter this fight with blood on his mind. I think that Vegeta really wants payback with Moro, and I think that Moro is really underestimating the fact that Vegeta right now had not only been honing his craft on Yardrat, but also been sharpening his skills and abilities in this battle. So what I wanted to know from you, let's just say if Vegeta ends up coming to Earth first, or if he ends up coming to Earth second, what do you think is going to be the narrative of this battle, and how do you see it playing out?
Well, I guess there's a couple of ways that they can do this, right? So first and foremost, if Vegeta lands first and he's fighting Moro, and Goku hasn't gotten there yet, then it's pretty much like Battle of Gods in the sense where everybody's waiting on Goku to show up, and then he fights Beerus, so on and so forth, right? That's kind of, for lack of a better term, I guess, traditional or expected or unoriginal, whatever you guys want to call it. But, you know, if that is the case, then it kind of gives us the reason to believe that Goku will probably finish off the show or finish off the arc, or maybe he'll require Vegeta's help considering what he knows now, right? So you have Vegeta who has some kind of mastery over his ki, over his spirit, as to where Goku has had some level of training, you know, on planet Yardrat, but nothing in comparison to what Vegeta's gotten as of lately. So if that's the case, then, you know, it kind of feels like they're both very strong fighters, they're both very capable fighters, and they both have access to things that the other does not have access to. So Goku has UI Omen, based on what we've seen in the panels with him fighting Merus, right? So that was the only time we've seen his aura like that. So with that under assumption, Vegeta probably doesn't have UI, but again, he has a higher, heightened sense of spirit control, in which turn makes him a lot more powerful than he ever was before. So in a way, you can kind of justify him not having Ultra Instinct or having access to it yet, but he's nearing that state. You can kind of justify it in that sense because now he has something that Goku doesn't have, and it's been a while since that was the case. Generally, Vegeta learns things on his own, and he had, his toolkit, his arsenal, is everything that he's learned on his own, as to where Goku has had dozens of trainers, or not dozens, but he's learned from his fights with other people. He's learned from, via training with other people, as where Vegeta hasn't. So this is probably one of the few times outside of him training with Whis that he's actually had to resort to learning other things through other beings weaker than himself in some way, shape, or form, right? So, like I said, again, if Vegeta ends up being there first, he'll probably be able to hold him off until Goku gets there, then they both hammer him down and seal the deal. But that would be boring, but I guess somewhat expected of Dragon Ball. And it's not to deter or take away from Dragon Ball, but, if literally every chapter prior to this one has been any kind of indication as to what we can expect, we kind of have to expect that, right? I feel like Goku should arrive first because, in theory, Vegeta would be the most likely person to arrive first because he can sense Earth. He has like Kai level, he has like a Kai level of sense right now, of sensory abilities, right? As to where Goku kind of has to be pointed in the direction before he can reach Earth. So he has to keep going in said direction, and that's not the first time we've seen that, especially, as the recent chapter 56 has alluded to us. So Vegeta, he can go at any time. So in theory, he should be the one that could go first. The option is there for him to go first. But I feel like Goku should get there first. And, even though he has UI Omen and stuff like that, he doesn't have that sensory, that spirit control to the level of Vegeta having it now. And maybe Vegeta coming in second, it'll pretty much bring what I was just talking about together, in the sense where now they can both work together to slap on Moro. Because if my thing is this, I think that spirit control and whatever technique that Vegeta is using or learning and in conjunction with all the training that he's done as of lately, I think that'll help him to kind of nullify and neg Moro's ability to just sap his power, right? Because if you have that level of spirit control, then Vegeta should just, in theory, be able to just cancel it out. And I don't want to say reverse it because I think that's too OP, but I think prevent Moro from just, sucking him dry. And then Moro's just like, oh, well, no matter, I can still kill him. And then Vegeta just, just slaps him around. And then it just makes everything feel that more exciting. But again, the indication of Goku having UI Omen based on that one panel with Merus and everything that kind of Vegeta is working towards right now, you kind of want to see both of them do something against Moro. You want both of them to feel like they had like a major impactful role in taking him down once and for all. I mean, some fans might just say, well, just give it to Vegeta. It's always the Goku show. And it's not really the case. And then some fans will just, assume that Goku will take the, he'll just, take the victory. But I think that considering what they're both working towards, if I had to say anything, I might give Vegeta a little more praise in this instance, only because the development that he's gaining in this arc and these past few chapters alone, it will benefit him in the long run. And as opposed to where Goku, he kind of has to adapt to this state of being or form that he doesn't really have full control over. and he doesn't really know how to have full control over, as to where Vegeta seems like he's getting the key, the missing key that Goku needs to control that form. So we'll see. I don't know. But I think Vegeta should be second to come forward, because he can go there whenever he wants. He knows IT now, so it's like whatever now.
I definitely think that Vegeta is going to do a lot better than how he did on New Planet Namek against Moro, and I do firmly believe that Vegeta is going to be able to actually defend himself against Moro taking his Genki, or at least trying to potentially take his Genki. But what I wanted to know is, do you see Vegeta possibly tapping into a higher level of Super Saiyan Blue, perhaps Super Saiyan Blue Evolution? We saw it be done in the anime, and in some way, shape, or form, we kind of saw that be alluded to in the manga in the TOP version. So do you see Vegeta further tapping into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution? Because I think that to further engage someone like Moro, who really isn't someone to take lightly, this guy is incredibly dangerous, and he possesses a lot of hacks and abilities that could be really detrimental to someone fighting him. So do you see Vegeta possibly using something higher than Super Saiyan Blue? And my second question is, do you see Vegeta's new ability or move being something that reverses Moro's magic, or at least his draining ability to take someone's Genki, and the idea that Vegeta is able to take whatever Moro can dish out and use that against him?
So I guess if the idea was to counter, like if Vegeta's goal is to counter Moro's magic, you'd have to assume that it's based on what Vegeta has Moro's magic so far, which is using the planet's energy, you know, the Genki rising from the floor, whatever, right? From the earth or from the planet's crust, whatever, and just shooting out everywhere, or just the energy sapping, like the Genki sapping, right? So you'd have to assume that Vegeta's goal is to basically, I guess, fight magic with magic, because a few chapters ago, you know, Vegeta hated the idea of relying on fancy tricks to beat, you know, your opponent. And it was pretty much indicated to us that as they were then, Super Saiyan Blues, they'd be enough to just take down Moro, right? But here we are chapters later, where obviously Moro is stronger, you know, provided that the time they were talking about Moro, he was a lot weaker. He wasn't his, you know, his younger self, so on and so forth. But it was his magic that was getting in the way. It was his, you know, different techniques that were getting in the way, hence Majin Buu being able to slap him around. So, you know, I would say that it kind of pushes us more to the idea of requiring both of what Goku has and what he doesn't, and then of what Vegeta has and what he doesn't. Well, Vegeta doesn't have, Goku has, and what Vegeta has, Goku doesn't have. So they're like two sides of the same coin, right? They're both two different sides of the same coin. You know, at that point, it kind of makes the chapter exciting, especially, you know, based on what we've seen for. So I'd have to assume that, yeah, the goal would be for Vegeta to just counter his magic, Moro's magic control, and then, you know, like stop Moro from using it. Or if Moro is shooting, you know, the planet's energy at Vegeta, Vegeta could just turn it around and shoot it back. That would be a really, really, really different twist. It'd be a big twist, especially for Vegeta to see him doing stuff like that. And I think, you know, I don't know how well the fans would respond to it, but I think it would make for a really enjoyable read, right? So it kind of gives us more reason to look forward as to how they defeat him. But yeah, it's really, you know, you'd have to bring back Evolution. You'd have to bring back whatever that was that he did in the Tournament of Power, because if they're bringing back UI Omen, which everything kind of, you know, we have reason to believe that based on that panel again. I've referenced that a couple times already with Merus. You know, you kind of have no choice but to bring back Evolution as well. And I mean, if anything, that's pretty much the only thing stopping Vegeta from tapping into that level of power, right? Or it's that state of being. So, you know, he doesn't have to do it here. He doesn't have to get UI in this arc at all. But like I said in my previous statement, it kind of, you know, benefits Vegeta in the long run, because now he's getting all this development via training, and it's just going to make him that much better of a fighter. And if the idea, based on statements that we've gotten from, like, you know, the people who write the manga and produce and stuff like that, and then the Dragon Ball Super Broly stuff, that Goku is, you know, nearing the power of the gods, and Vegeta's desperately trying to catch up, well, here he is, you know, he's doing his thing, and he's kind of showcasing that. So even if there's differences between the anime and the manga, Vegeta's actually pulling forward, and he's pushing through with actually, you know, trying to obtain something that he didn't have before. And I think it's very fresh. It's very fresh to see that. It's refreshing to see that, because Vegeta wasn't always like that. So yeah, I just think they'll require both of them. I don't think it's just a one-man show. I don't think Vegeta will close it out. I mean, they could do it like that, but I feel like he would have to come second, right? Goku's getting his ass whooped, and then he's getting smacked around, and then boom, Vegeta comes in. You know, he knows Kakarot can take care of himself. He knows that, right? Vegeta will sit back and let Goku get beat up a little bit, and then when things are dire, boom, he just IT's there, and here we go, let's fight. You know?
I think it would definitely be a throwback to have Moro fight Goku first, and for Goku to have his ass handed to him at first, then only for Vegeta to step in and save Goku from Moro. I mean, the irony behind that would be quite interesting in the fact that we've seen it be done before with, you know, Metal Cooler and so many instances in Dragon Ball Z, but I definitely and I strongly feel as if Vegeta is probably going to have a bit more shine than Goku here. I think that when it comes down to raw power, if, let's say, for example, Vegeta's at his max and Goku has MUI, I think with Mastered Ultra Instinct, Goku definitely takes the lead over Vegeta, but that's only considering the fact that if Goku taps into that power. But what I wanted to know from you is, what do you think is the absolute best and worst case scenario for the Vegeta character in the manga, considering his development and everything we've seen lead to this point, in the fact that, do you think they're going to drop the ball, or do you think Vegeta is genuinely going to have an actual moment now?
Well, if the last, like, what, 10, 20 years, 15 years hasn't been any kind of indication that Dragon Ball fans generally are very patient, and they have been patient. I mean, after Dragon Ball Z, it took a while for us to get Dragon Ball Super, right? So if the goal is to just tell us to wait until Vegeta actually does something bigger, like WoW, like Ultra Instinct or something like that, I would say that it's a good investment in the sense where he's gotten so much done this arc, right? He's done a lot of actual training and development here, and at that point, the writing is on the wall. Like, it's about, you know, because he's the only person to spar with Beerus. Goku hasn't done that yet. He actually fought him in the beginning, but since then we haven't actually seen a sparring match between that, right? So it kind of brings us back to that panel where, you know, where Whis was telling Beerus, like, yo, those two dudes will catch up to you someday, and here we are, you know, where Goku's tapping into UI Omen potentially again, and then Vegeta's just doing something that we never thought he would do, right? I mean, at first I kind of had my concerns because I was like, well, why is Vegeta doing something that Goku did like 20 years ago? You know, he's going to Yardrat. Like, why now, right? That was like, I mean, that was a long time ago, right? But here we are. They kind of, I don't want to say corrected, but they kind of remedied that concern by saying, well, Vegeta's doing what Goku did, but better. And he's getting access to things that Goku, you know, even back then, you know, I mean, we can all pretty much agree that Goku could not do the things that Vegeta's doing now back then, especially not at the level of power that he was back then. So, yeah, I don't think they have to wow people. I mean, obviously, the worst case scenario was that the training goes to waste, Vegeta doesn't learn anything at all, and he gets his ass whooped, right? Boom, done. And then same thing for Goku, and then they kind of have to, like, pull some rabbit out of the hat like they did against Merus, right? For both the anime and the manga, though the manga kind of felt a little more, you kind of understood why they needed Zeno, and the anime was kind of like, well, okay, whatever. But I don't think they have to. I think people would still enjoy the chapter nonetheless. We just need a good fight, really. You know, it doesn't really have to be just a one-on-one. I'm pretty sure Vegeta would be able, you know, wanting to work with Kakarot on this time. He did it versus Boo. You know, he's done it before. He can do it again. And obviously, Goku will need Vegeta's help. It's not like Goku will finish this by his own. He's rarely ever been able to do anything on his own, which brings together this whole idea of why Goku allows the people that he fights to live and all this other stuff, because he kind of draws people closer to him. So it kind of goes hand in hand here. I think this will be a good chapter. Hopefully they don't rush like they did with the TOP. But yeah, there's nothing really bad that they can do except for doing things that they did in the TOP. So if Vegeta does all this training, he does absolutely nothing, he gets his ass whooped, and then Goku finishes him off with Ultra Instinct. That's annoying. It won't suck because it'll still be hype, right? Ultra Instinct, it'll still be really hype, but it would be really annoying. And it has nothing to do with me being a Vegeta fan or Goku fan. It's just, yeah, there was a lot of investment put into that arc for his development. What are we going to see now? Is he going to spar with Beerus again now? And then it kind of, you know, he makes up for it there? I don't know, you know, but it's really difficult to say. I can't really answer that question, like, you know, as accurately as I would like to.
But we are going to find out on February 20th with Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 57, March 20th with Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 58, April 20th, Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 59, May 20th, Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 60, so on and so forth. So I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below about this, because I really do believe that Vegeta has a great chance of really doing some damage to Moro. If anything, doing something that prevents Moro's magic from getting to everyone else. But just in case you guys don't know, Amish is going to be covering lots of Dragon Ball Super content, as well as Dokkan and many other things on his channel. So do you have anything to say before we close off this video?
All right, so thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. I used to be on this channel a lot. So for those of you guys who do know, Emish is live. I used to cover Dragon Ball a lot. Nowadays, I cover mostly Dokkan's a fresh channel. So it's just Emish. You guys can follow me there. A lot of analytical breakdowns, the same way I used to do, in the same style, the same fashion that I used to cover Dragon Ball Super mangas and theories and the anime and stuff like that. I'm bringing that same kind of vibe into Dokkan. So we cover teams, different team builds, what unit is better than the other. I'm not too much of a fan of doing summonings, but I will be, doing some for the year 5 anniversary that will be closing in shortly. So depending when this video goes up, of course. So if you guys are into that kind of stuff, definitely check me out. Links will be in the video description as well as the comment section as well. Thank you for the support, and thank you once again, Alex, for having me. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more conversations like this because we used to do this stuff all the time. So it does definitely bring back some good memories.
Which, by the way, me and Emish are going to be doing another discussion on Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku versus Moro just in about 2 days or so. So I wanted to thank you all so much for watching. Vegeta hype. I think that Vegeta is really going to do some damage here against Moro, but the question is, when is he going to do it? So thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to this channel, smash that subscribe button, everybody. Turn on all notifications. Give this video a big thumbs up if you guys are just simply stoked, ready, and excited to see Vegeta kick some ass against Moro. Tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace. And a quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button along with turning on all notifications, as to there, you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, someone? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!